in case you need it.
I don't think I will, but. So I call to order then? Okay. Roll call. I'm here.
Need to, sorry, I may interrupt. I need to read the sentence and ask for staff confirmation is the first thing that needs to be done.
Do what now?
So number one, call
Oh, I
to order.
read that whole thing?
The board, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Call
please.
to order. The board chair requests staff confirmation that the Kansas Open Meeting Act requires notice has been properly provided. Board meeting roll call. Deborah?
You need to confirm.
Here.
Monique has to
What?
confirm.
You need to confirm that it has been.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
confirm.
Okay, sorry. Now the roll call. Deborah?
Here.
Walls? Matt Newbanks? Oh, he's the one missing, okay.
Yeah.
Scott McGrady?
Here.
Beth Pelletier?
Here.
Okay, sorry. Alice Herman, sorry. No, okay. Grant Jonas Johansson?
Close enough here.
Sorry. Mary Gold?
Here.
Kimberly Hill? Frankie Fuller, youth
Here.
member? And a vacant youth member, okay. Citizens Forum, citizens can speak for 3 minutes about topics not listed on the agenda. Did I miss something?
No.
Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Wilson. I'm here on wanting to know what is being done with my dogs that are in the shelter that were surrendered by my daughter at court order from the judge for running at large, first time and second offense of running at large. One of them being a nuisance dog. He became a nuisance dog on his very first offense of running at large. So he does have the nuisance and the other running at large. The other one, first time of running at large. I've contacted the animal shelter the day after my daughter surrendered them. And they more or less told me, the older gentleman told me I will never see my dogs again and not to worry about them. They're not my property. So I've kind of laid off on calling there. I've done a little protest in front of their animal shelter here a few weeks back. They will not contact me. They will not have talking to me about what's going on. They just tell me I'm never going to get my dogs back again. Now, my dog Recovery has a mental health issue. I got tons of paperwork here talking about his different disorders of mental health that he has, from separation anxiety to ADHD. And I believe that Blaze is probably having some slight cases of ADHD along with separation anxiety. Blaze also gets very, very depressed, where he'll sleep the whole entire day, 2 or 3 days at a time, if you don't get him in there and interact with him and be playful. So I'm asking today for permission to be able to readopt my dogs back out in my name. And that's where I'm at.
That's not something we do. We appreciate the information that you gave us, but that is something you deal with the city and the animal shelter with. We're the animal advisory board. We don't make those decisions or have any authority to do.
Okay, I was the governor, and he told me to come here. He told me this would be my next step, was to come and bring this issue in front of you guys. So that's what I was doing before I went to court proceedings.
Okay, appreciate that information.
You have, you know something about it, right?
I do. This was a court case, and this was ruled by a judge. This decision was not made by the animal shelter. It was made by a judge. So we have to honor what the judge is asking us to do. And the judge asked for the dogs to be surrendered to the animal shelter by her daughter, and she did comply and do that, and the dogs are still with us. They are doing well. We're doing some training with them and getting them, used to being on leashes and being around other dogs and those kinds of things. So they are still with us.
As far as their running behavior goes, you're not going to get their running behavior corrected until they get back on their medication.
Well, we were unaware that they were supposed to be on medication.
Because they don't talk to me. I've tried to come down there and speak to your staff about
Well,
it.
and we have The dog's listed under your daughter as her being the owner, not you. So that's why we can't divulge that information.
Recovery is completely registered to me.
Okay.
100% at your shelter and at every veterinarian I've taken him to. Blaze, now on the other hand, is registered to me at the veterinarian and registered to my daughter at the animal shelter for the simple fact that the first running at large charge he got, your officer told me that he needed to be registered in my daughter's name since the ticket was to her. So when I went and paid for his shots that I paid for, I registered him in my daughter's name. I did.
There was a repeal process that
I know I couldn't
available
come
to
up with
you.
the $500.
So that was the next step, was when they were then surrendered, there is a repeal process that you have to go through, and that you would have to go through the city prosecutor's office. I don't have any control over that.
Okay,
So
but
that would be your next
the
step.
judge said it was your guys' issue to decide what was being done with them. When I call up there to talk to your staff members, they say that it's the court's decision. It's not the judge's decision. She said it was the animal shelter's decision on what to be done with them. I wanted to come up there and see them. They were not only my pet, they were my kids. You know, they were my kids. I took care of them since they were 4 weeks old.
Well,
They were his security. They were our security.
I understand that,
We've
but the
gone
judge is not going to
through-
rule on that unless
Which-
there was evidence that they were to
Which,
be
if I can
surrendered.
explain the judge's ruling that day, the day before the court day before, my daughter had an attitude with the secretary at the courthouse, wanting to reschedule her court date to her next court date she had coming up. The judge confronted her about that and told her she needed to lose her damn attitude or she's not going to like her court decision. We went back to the next court decision, animals instantly surrendered. And the law is you cannot surrender an animal on the first running at large charge. And you cannot steal somebody else's property and surrender them.
It was a judge's ruling. It was not my ruling. It was the judge's
But
ruling.
it is your ruling now.
My rule, I'm following what the judge is asking me to do.
The
And
judge said it was your discretion on what to be
on
done
what to
with my
do
animals.
with them, on what to do
On what to do with them. I'm
Not
asking
that
for
we-
permission
that
to
we
re-adopt
didn't
my
ask you
animals.
to surrender them. The judge asked you to surrender them.
I
And
understand
yes,
that. I'm not here defending what the judge did. I'm here asking for permission to re-adopt my animals.
She just allowed 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're way past.
I don't think we're going to get anything resolved
Right.
here, so.
So you're
I
saying
think
my
all
next
she's
procedure would be
asking
a
is,
court
could
case?
she adopt the dogs now?
That's all I'm asking.
Because they were surrendered by one person and she's another
Right.
person.
And-
What is your plan with them?
Our plan is to work with them and try and get them to the point where we can adopt them out.
At that point, would she be allowed to adopt them?
That would be an issue that we would need to discuss because there was a reason why there was more reason why they had to be surrendered to us.
So I suggest to you that you just wait until they get where they want to get with those animals and then go down there and discuss it with them.
And-
I think,
How long would you think that might be? They've been in there for 60 days already.
I don't know how long training will take. That's something you'll have to take up with them after the meeting maybe, or maybe call Mo tomorrow morning.
Okay, because they already have mental health issues, and so this is only, adding on to
Have their
mental health.
medication with you so you can give them to
No,
her?
I don't.
What are they on?
Recovery takes Prozac. I haven't got.
Do they go to a vet here in town?
They went to the Town and Country vet, and they go to Atherton vet
Okay,
as
so
well.
I can call either one of those two and see if I can get their medication. I was never aware that they were on any kind of medication.
Because your
And
staff is very rude.
I was not aware of it. I can make sure that we get them back on what they need to be on.
Yeah, that's the only way that their running situation is going to stop in their behavior.
Okay. I'll work on that
Thank you.
tomorrow. You're welcome.
So can I call you in the morning then to
Yes.
find out about
It
adoption?
is surgery day tomorrow, so I will not be available until probably 10 o'clock, but I will certainly speak with you on the issue. I can't guarantee any outcomes tomorrow,
Well,
but I will definitely speak with you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
I think we have one more.
We got one more. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, we're.
I see you hiding over there.
Yes, we're done.
Jeff does good work. He's everywhere. Oh yeah, Richard Albert Humphrey II. I am here because I moved back to advocate for my elders and my seniors, And I thought this would be a good place for maybe the conversation to start the companion program of senior dogs into senior houses. I don't know much about it, but I've heard of it in past communities I was with. Just here to start the conversation, but as an advocate for my elders, I do believe it might be an opportunity. I'm very stoked you guys are here and doing what you're doing. I appreciate all of you guys, and I think that's all I got. So you guys have a day. Talk to you then.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. We have a new board member, Kimberly Hill.
She's not here
She's not
today.
here, okay. Nominate and vote for changing the citizens forum to the end of the meeting.
Right, so
Something
like
you
what
wanna
we
do?
just did, we had a public member ask the last time that we were here if we could change it from the beginning of the meeting to the end of the meeting. And then you guys would vote on that if you want to, what you want to do on that.
It's okay with me.
The way it is.
All in favor?
I think I'll just leave it the way it
Just leave it
is.
the way it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because people can't get here from their job. That's why they do it later at the commissioners' meeting, is because it's hard for people to get off at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then be there for the
But how do
public.
they know when the end of, doesn't the end of our meeting
But it
times
gives them like a
change?
half an hour, 45-minute difference at least.
Okay, how many's for it?
Need to take, someone needs to make a motion,
Motion and
and then
second.
someone needs to second the motion, and then they would vote.
Okay, somebody make a motion.
Second
They
motion.
want to. So what does that mean? Are we changing?
Now we got to vote
Okay.
You're making a motion that what?
to change.
Vote to change the public thing for the end of the meeting.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Nobody's in favor?
I mean, I'm okay with it because I understand
so
why
am
they're
I,
doing it, but
Okay, well, leave it like it
So
is then, I guess.
No, I think you have to say all opposed, right?
All opposed?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll just
Okay.
stay out.
oppose wins.
Opposed wins, so.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to keep it the same.
But, okay. Community veterinarian comments? We don't have any?
I didn't have anybody wanting to come today.
Approval of agenda? Motion to approve?
I move we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Approval of minutes?
Anybody have any changes?
Motion?
All right,
I move that
motion.
we approve them as they are.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, new business. State inspection, 4/17/24. It's got here. Is that,
Yeah, we had a state inspector come in on 4/17/2024. It was on a complaint of feces in the dog kennels, and then another one on a question on our paperwork, how accurate we were keeping our paperwork, and I guess like getting rid of paperwork. We did pass the inspection. There was nothing was found. It was unfounded. I guess that's what the report said. We did have one little thing she wanted us to fix, and that was coming out of the dog kennels, going into the little back patio that's covered that goes out into the dog park. There was a tiny, probably about this big, of rust on the bottom because it's a metal door frame. So we did get that fixed. That was actually fixed last week. And so then we have to have that information into the state by the 17th. And that was the only thing that she had a question on. Paperwork was good. She had 3 questions on the paperwork. We were able to pull that up very quickly for her. And the new organization that came about in September and October, and the filing system and how we do things now, it really, really, really helped. And she even said that she could tell the difference between the last time she was there and this time.
good. Okay, the trap and release program?
Trap and release, we had our kind of initial first run on 4/30 of 2024. It was kind of our little practice run. We didn't have a lot of cats, but it did go very well. I believe we had
24 scheduled.
Yeah, we had 24 scheduled, and
14 appeared.
yeah, some people would get one cat and couldn't get the other. So, I mean, it ended up being pretty decent. And then those people, if they could catch them on Thursday, because this was on Tuesday, so if people could catch them on Thursday, then we did accept those then again on Thursday. And I think we did an additional 7
I believe so.
on that Thursday. So that was 20 cats that we did. So if somebody was doing the math for me, one of the public gals that is very into cats, she said that was almost 1,000 lives saved for cats by spaying and neutering that many cats. That's what it helped. So it was a really good. It worked out really well. Everybody was.
Lift their ears so people know that they're.
We do,
okay.
yes. And we only had one gentleman who asked us to come and get traps. Everybody was super good about bringing them in their own pet taxis or bringing them in their own traps. So that saved us a lot of time, not having to go out and go pick up the traps. So then that gave us more time to kind of get more added in.
So we can bring them in on our own trap?
Yes.
Can we pick them up and take them back where we got them?
Yes, we'll put them right back in there. When they're recovering, they go right back into that trap.
Well, I've
And-
got one, I can't tell, I think it might be already neutered or fixed, but I can't tell for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
so.
if they are already spayed or neutered, we'll just, put them back in and then probably give you a call and say, hey, come get it, so they don't have to sit there all day. You
I've
can
been
come and get them
feeding it. and
sooner.
I have for about 2 years now since it was little, and it's never gotten pregnant or doesn't get in fights, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, we do have a new book up front that I've got, the next one is 6/10 or 6/11 of 2024. It's a Tuesday, and so I've already got, almost 3 pages of people that are interested in that one filled up. So hopefully we can get another one pretty close to then into that next month, so we can do even more. And we are adding some on Thursdays. If we look low on a Thursday with surgeries, we'll be like, hey, let's call this person and see if they can bring some in. So we do a little bit more on Thursday as well. It's not a proper trap and release, but it's helpful to get a little bit more in.
I'm glad that's working out again. And offsites at Petco, and Atwoods.
Yeah, we've had March and April. We had every slot on Saturday we had filled up with either Petco or Atwoods off-sites, and then we did have 2 in April, and then those went very well. It gets a little bit more exposure for pets than people are out there just buying dog food or doing whatever, and they're like, oh, shelter dogs are here. So it's kind of a nice little surprise, and the dogs have fun and the people have fun, and it's a good thing, and it gets them out and out of the shelter, and so they're just not just going to the dog park or whatever. They get to go out and go have fun, and it's helped with adoptions. It's helped with exposure. We can't do adoptions there, but what we do is if somebody's interested in adopting that animal, we have one of the people bring that animal back to the shelter, and then the person comes back to the shelter and they do all of the paperwork and the adoption, everything there. That way they can get their city license and all that. So it makes it very convenient to go ahead and do it that way. And Atwoods, we only went once on Atwoods, and we're kind of hoping to get into the summer. I'd like to do 2 at Atwoods and then 2 at Petco. So we've got something going on every weekend, but we're waiting staffing. We're just trying to make sure. I don't want to get us short during the week with being gone on a Saturday, because it's a couple of hours having somebody schedule extra. So, but it's been working out pretty good. So those are the off-sites right now.
That's good. Bank of Tesket, volunteers, treat makers?
Yes, we had, Bank of Tesket had reached out to us and asked us if we had any projects for their volunteers. And I normally make the almond bark dipped treats, and then, put them out, or we take them to the vet's offices and they can give them out, or take them up to the city building and they can give them out. And so it's just kind of a neat little thing that people really enjoyed it when I did it for Christmas. And then when I did it for Valentine's Day, people were, oh, I want treats. And we were just giving them to adoption. We'd hand them out to people who were just for adoptions, and then people who just came in and had their dog like they were visiting. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to just do it so we have extra, so we can just hand them out? And it worked out very well. Atherton's basket was empty the last time I went in there, so they had given all their treats out. So far we've had 2 groups come in. We'll have our last group come in May. I believe the second weekend in May is their last group. But I do have another extra project for them to do. One of the other officers had asked me about making emergency bags, or like bags that have a thing of like a Ziploc bag of dog food and a Ziploc bag of treats and a water bottle for, like, say you go by and there's a homeless person and do you have food for your dog? Here's food and water for your dog. Or if somebody's, just needing something and they don't have anything, I thought we'd make those up. And it's storm season, you know, maybe we should make some up. That way, if there's a storm or a tornado and there's people that are needing that and they don't have access to a bottle of water or something for their dog, at least they have it. They can come and they can pick it up and we'll have it. So I don't know how many a head we'll do because I don't want the food to go bad, but we're going to try it and see what happens. It's kind of a new thing.
That sounds, yeah.
You could always vacuum seal the
good.
dog food too.
Yeah. I do have a vacuum sealer, and I thought I don't use it at home. I may as well just bring it there. So it's an option.
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, old business?
Well, I'd like to bring up some new business.
Oh, sorry.
So I was watching the study session on pit bulls, and for some reason, they don't want to bring that, Jeff. They don't want to bring it to the advisory board, and I was wondering why.
I don't know.
I mean, we can talk chickens, why can't we talk dogs?
It's the commission decision whether or not to send it to a board or not, so I really couldn't say why they would.
Well, it didn't sound like that. It sounded like the guy who was doing the presentation made that decision. He said, we can't send that to the advisory.
Again, I don't know, but I can certainly ask the question.
Yeah, would you? I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Old business, Shelter Planners of America?
That is, we are in the I think we're at the stage now where we're getting ready to go over everything that they have put together. We haven't had that meeting yet. I'm not sure when that's going to be planned, but that's the next step, is we're going to get together and look at everything that they've put together, and then go to the next stage at that point.
Okay, numbers for 2023?
I'm sorry?
Numbers for 2023?
Those were the numbers that I had given you. I don't have them with
Oh,
me.
okay.
But those were the numbers
them
from
last
all of, like, the adoption numbers, everything
Oh,
that
yeah,
we
okay,
had done,
okay.
intakes, outtakes, everything that we had done for that time.
Okay, there's still a need for cat fosters?
We do. I actually today called several. We have a stack of, I don't know, I think there's 10 people who are wanting to do cat adoptions, and I called probably 4 of them, left messages. I wasn't able to get hold of anybody. I think most people were at work today. So, and I told them, just give me a call back tomorrow, or, just call and leave me a message and we'll get back with them so we can go ahead and get them inspected and get a couple of extra fosters. We have 1 foster right now, and she had some kittens that had some issues. They're doing well right now, so we were kind of holding off on giving her any more just in case the kittens would have issues and give it to the other kittens. But people have been really good about keeping the cats. In fact, I had a couple of people who said, I'd be willing to keep the cat and bring it in as trap and release, but can I get some help with food? So we gave them some wet food. I had a couple of cans of kitten milk, some canned kitten milk that was still within date, so I gave a couple of them that. They had bought their own bottles, so I mean they're wanting they're wanting the cats to stay in the circle, and they're willing to feed them and take care of them. And then when they're ready to be spayed and neutered, then we'll do it because they're not nice kittens. They're not like happy, I love you kittens. They're kind of more like little screechy things. So at least, if they're spayed and neutered and they're being taken care of, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Back to the numbers for 2023, is that something you shared at the first meeting this year? I haven't seen those.
I think I shared it. That was the one where I think you were on the prompt.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Can I get a copy
I can
of
get
that?
those for you. Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes, I can get that for you.
That'd be great.
Okay, any general?
Am I okay to email it to you?
Yeah.
I'll get that to you tomorrow.
Yeah, perfect.
Any general announcements?
I had a question. I missed the last meeting, and I was going to ask it then, but there was a incident, I don't want to call it a dog mauling incident last fall, I believe, with a pit bull. Does anybody recall that or read about that?
Was it a person or was it a pet that was mauled?
Dog and a child. Am I dreaming this? I thought
I haven't heard anything.
I was just curious of what the outcome of it was. But it was in the paper anyway, so I didn't know.
It was here in Salina?
Yeah. I'll go see if I can dig it up, share it with you.
Nothing is ringing a bell specifically with it being a pit bull or not. I mean, we have a number of incidents with dogs and children.
I'm sorry, it wasn't last fall. It was after our first meeting, which was January, February.
February, I think, wasn't it?
It was after that, because I was going to bring
Dog
it.
attack, Salina, Kansas, 2023.
Yeah.
Oh. Sometimes down here you get reception, sometimes you
Yeah.
don't.
I'll see if I can find it, but it was in the
Okay.
Salina Journal.
Sure, yeah.
And
Well, as far as the Salina Journal goes, they did a report a few years back where a lady got attacked over at Lakewood, and nobody saw the dog that was a professional, and they called it a pit bull attack, even though nobody but the woman who said, I don't know what kind of dog it was, reported it as a pit bull.
well, and don't get me wrong, I'm not
No, I'm not
I'm not
saying that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
you can't go by everything you read.
correct. And then, but pit bulls do tend to draw more media attention
yeah.
than.
In Denver, before the ban went into effect, a girl was attacked by a pit bull, and it made the news 875 times, but a kid was killed by 2 Siberian Huskies, and they put nationally 2 out. That was it. But the pit bull attack made news media 875 times.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I had.
I've watched that CD over and over.
That it? No
Adjournment.
general? Okay. Make a motion for adjournment? Aye.
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
Alrighty. I hope I'm better prepared next time if I